Load testing is the process of putting demand on a system or device and measuring its response. Load testing is performed to determine the Systema-Euro-unregistered trademark's behavior under both normal and anticipated peak load conditions. It helps to identify the maximum operating capacity of an application as well as any bottlenecks and determine which element is causing degradation. When the load placed on the system is raised beyond normal usage patterns, in order to test the system's response at unusually high or peak loads, it is known as stress testing. The load is usually so great that error conditions are the expected result, although no clear boundary exists when an activity ceases to be a load test and becomes a stress test. There is little agreement on what the specific goals of load testing are. The term is often used synonymously with concurrency testing, software performance testing, reliability testing, and volume testing. Load testing is usually a type of non-functional testing, although it can be used as a functional test to validate suitability for use. Software load testing. The term load testing is used in different ways in the professional software testing community. Load testing generally refers to the practice of modeling the expected usage of a software program by simulating multiple users accessing the program concurrently. As such, this testing is most relevant for multi-user systems. Often one built using a client-server model, such as web servers. However, other types of software systems can also be load tested. For example, a word processor or graphics editor can be forced to read an extremely large document. Or a financial package can be forced to generate a report based on several years' worth of data. The most accurate load testing simulates actual use, as opposed to testing using theoretical or analytical modeling. Load testing lets you measure your website's QoS performance based on actual customer behavior. Nearly all the load testing tools and frameworks follow the classical load testing paradigm. When customers visit your website, a script recorder records the communication and then creates related interaction scripts. A load generator tries to replay the recorded scripts, which could possibly be modified with different test parameters before replay. In the replay procedure, both the hardware and software statistics will be monitored and collected by the conductor. These statistics include the CPU, memory, disk I/O of the physical servers and the response time, throughput of the system under test, etc. And at last, all these statistics will be analyzed and a load testing report will be generated. Load and performance testing analyzes software intended for a multi-user audience by subjecting the software to different numbers of virtual and live users while monitoring performance measurements under these different loads. Load and performance testing is usually conducted in a test environment identical to the production environment before the software system is permitted to go live. As an example, a website with shopping cart capability is required to support 100 concurrent users broken out into following activities: 25 virtual users log in, browse through items and then log off, 25 users log in, add items to their shopping cart, check out and then log off, 25 users log in, return items previously purchased and then log off, 25 users just log in without any subsequent activity. A test analyst can use various load testing tools to create these users and their activities. Once the test has started and reached a steady state, the application is being tested at the 100 user load as described above. The application unregistered trademark's performance can then be monitored and captured. The specifics of a load test plan or script will generally vary across organizations. For example, in the bulleted list above, the first item could represent 25 users browsing unique items, random items, or a selected set of items depending upon the test plan or script developed. However, all load test plans attempt to simulate system performance across a range of anticipated peak workflows and volumes. The criteria for passing or failing a load test are generally different across organizations as well. There are no standards specifying acceptable load testing performance metrics. A common misconception is that load testing software provides record and playback capabilities like regression testing tools. Load testing tools analyze the entire OSI protocol stack, whereas most regression testing tools focus on GUI performance. For example, A regression testing tool will record and play back a mouse click on a button on a web browser, but a load testing tool will send out hypertext the web browser sends after the user clicks the button. In a multiple user environment, load testing tools can send out hypertext for multiple users with each user having a unique login ID, password, etc. The popular load testing tools available also provide insight into the causes for slow performance. There are numerous possible causes for slow system performance, including, but not limited to, the following: application server, S, or software, database server, S, network latency, congestion, etc. Client-side processing, load balancing between multiple servers. Load testing is especially important if the application, system or service will be subject to a service level agreement or SLA. User experience under load test. In the example above, while the device under test is under production load, 100 users run the target application. The performance of the target application here would be the user experience under load. It describes how fast or slow the DUT responds, and how satisfied or how the user actually perceives performance. Load testing tools. Physical load testing. Many types of machinery, engines, structures, and motors are load tested. The load may be at a designated safe working load, full load, or at an aggravated level of load. The governing contract, technical specification or test method contains the details of conducting the test. The purpose of a mechanical load test is to verify that all the component parts of a structure including materials, base fixings are fit for task and loading it is designed for. Several types of load testing are employed. Static testing is when a designated constant load is applied for a specified time. Dynamic testing is when a variable or moving load is applied. Cyclical testing consists of repeated loading and unloading for specified cycles, durations and conditions. The Supply of Machinery Regulation 1992 UK state that load testing is undertaken before the equipment is put into service for the first time. Performance testing applies a safe working load, or other specified load, for a designated time in a governing test method, specification, or contract. Under the Lifting Operations and Lifting Equipment Regulations 1998 UK load testing after the initial test is required if a major component is replaced, if the item is moved from one location to another or as dictated by the competent person, car charging system. A load test can be used to evaluate the health of a car's battery. The tester consists of a large resistor that has a resistance similar to a car's starter motor and a meter to read the battery's output voltage both in the unloaded and loaded state. When the tester is used, the battery's open circuit voltage is checked first. If the open circuit voltage is below spec, the battery is charged first. After reading the battery's open circuit voltage, the load is applied. When applied, it draws approximately the same current the car's starter motor would draw during cranking. Based on the specified cold cranking amperes of the battery, if the voltage under load falls below a certain point, the battery is bad. Load tests are also used on running cars to check the output of the car's alternator. See also: web testing, web server benchmarking, references. External links. Modeling the Real World for Load Testing Websites by Stephen Splain. What is load testing? By Tom Houston.